Christopher Morgan, Education Director, Living History Coordinator at Fort Concho, and I've been here for 17 years, 2 months. Education Coordinator, take care of we have a program, the Frontier School, which has been going on now for 30-some years here at the Fort. We target the area 4th graders, bring them in, give them a little hands-on what it was like to be a child out here on the frontier. Also set up with tours. Visitors come from all over the world to the Fort, so we kind of throw out to them what it really was like here, not the John Wayne, John Ford version. And then I'm in charge of handling the living history, the guys who wear the uniforms and of course, the big guns. When I tell people what I do, they kind of look at me, huh? And then as I explain further, they go, oh, and they're not quite sure until they actually see, I show them pictures of what we do. And it makes for a very unique, good icebreaker for conversations at gatherings and whatnot. People are a lot smaller. John Wayne was a big guy. He would actually been way too big to be a cavalry soldier. Average man was only at 5'7", 145 pounds. So with that regard, folks were smaller. It was a lot hotter. Didn't have air-conditioned trailers to go hide into. It was a little rougher. The food was not as glamorous as Hollywood made it out to be. Ladies were not that well dressed as you see in the John Wayne films. So we try to take the John Wayne movies are great entertainment. Love John Wayne. Not going to take anything from him, but history is a little bit bent. So there's always something new to learn. I never know what's going to happen like tomorrow or the next month. I mean, we have our scheduled events that we know about, but we never know who's going to show up. We get visitors, like I said, from all over the world. From Germany, from the former Soviet Union, from Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, Japan, China. It's really neat meeting these neat people. Plus, we never know when someone's going to show up and say, here, I want to give you this to the fort. You go, well, what is it? An artifact or something. And it's just something new every day, and I want to see it through. I want to see how far I can go with it before I, do something else. Let's see, I was an auto mechanic, still certified auto mechanic. Ran a nightclub for a while. I had a painting contract business. I was a radio DJ. Club DJ. What else have I done? Jack of all trades. I get bored easy. I like to see things and do it for myself. See, well, I can do that. And it's actually paid off in the long run because here at the Fort, all the skills I've learned in the past, I can utilize here. So if something's broken, I can fix it. I've always loved them. Being of Scot-Irish descent, that music's always around that Celtic flavored music. I first got hit with bagpiping when I was 10 years old. Dad was stationed in Heidelberg, Germany, and the 42nd Regiment, the Black Watch, came to play. And when you hear pipes and drums that loud all at once, it just, whoa. And somebody once said, I think it was Robert Burns, the great Scottish poet, says, if the sound of the pipes does not stir you, you have no soul. So maybe that's true, it's not, but it does stir in me. What got me to play was my father was feeling his mortality. He's a retired Army colonel, had to have a 5-way bypass, and he wants to have a Scottish, the piper, the whole thing. He pulled through. So I thought, I wonder if I can do this. Because it is tradition in a clan, a Scottish clan, if there's a piper in the family, he plays for the chieftain. And in a weird sort of way, my dad is the chieftain of our little clan. And being as I'm a musician anyway with other musical instruments, it wasn't that much of a stretch to go from flutes and whistles and boom, pipes. And once I got the pipes, 6 to 8 weeks later, I was able to put all the pieces together and actually make it sound like something. I knew I was getting better when my wife, instead of closing the door when I was practicing, would actually come in and go, that sounded like something, what was that? So now people pay me to play as opposed to pay me to quit, so it's kind of neat. I do a lot with the base, with the Army, Air Force, Marines out of the base, do a lot of things with them. I do also a lot of work with the police department. I've done weddings, I've done funerals, birthday parties. Actually, I've played at several of the local nightclubs. St. Patrick's Day, I get a lot of work. And I'll just go downtown and just walk into a club or restaurant and play. It's like, hey, so any chance to play, I'll take it. I'll do it. It was great. It really was nice to go to a national event. There was like 12,000 some reenactors at the event. Just see that many people of like mind with an interest in history and family and maybe a little bit crazy. To wear wool on a hot, humid day in Pennsylvania, you got to be a little bit left of center, but it was really an amazing, overwhelming experience in aspects. I always used to read about in the books the rattle of musketry, and what did that mean? Now I know what it means. Just to hear constant gunfire, just constant, even with these single-shot muzzleloaders. You got 12,000 guys shooting at each other. It's just a constant thing. Overall, it's just absolutely just inspiring, just amazing. That's what our ancestors went through. It's just crazy. It combines a lot of things I like to do. I like camping. I was a Boy Scout, so I like camping. I like getting away from it all. I like history. And I like Halloween, so I get to wear, so it combines all the things I like into one thing. I like to campfire cook, so I get to do that. It's hard to put a finger on it, but it's enjoyable. I know when it quits being enjoyable, it'll be time for me to retire. What is there not to like about heavy field artillery? In a way, I'm following a family tradition. My father is a retired Army artillery officer, and I do have military men in our family, so it's hard to explain. It's loud, it's obnoxious, just like me. So it's something really to understand the destructiveness of such a simple device, of what it could and couldn't do. And I don't know, it's hard to explain. It really is. Actually, some of my favorite events is when we take Fort Concho on the road. Fort Worth, we go to Fort Worth for the big muster there. That's a great fun event because it's right in the middle of downtown Fort Worth, and the people come to us, and we can show off how great we are. That's one of my favorite events. Hunt, go to the gun range, restoring a 1950 Ford truck. I've actually recently taken up an interest in gardening, growing me some tomato plants. So play with my dogs, relax. Sometimes after, just like to go home, get a cold beverage and just kick back. Trying to dispel the myths from the reality. There's so much of the myth is stuck in people's heads. They refuse to accept that that's not the way it was, it's this way. That is a challenge, and trying to present it in a way where you're not offending anybody or making anybody want to throw stuff at you, that's a challenge. A lot of what I've done is self-taught. I've taught myself to play the pipes. I've taught myself how to maintain and fix these guns, the big guns also, that we have a large collection of small arms. Taught myself gunsmithing. I think that would surprise people that I didn't learn it here, I taught it myself.